I'm going to talk about my Mega Audino deck that took first place at a local league challenge that I went to. Now on PTCGO, I apologize, I don't have all the cards. I don't play on PTCGO a lot, but I did at least want to show what the deck looked like. When I first saw Mega Audino EX, I was instantly reminded of Darkrai. Magical Symphony and Night Spear are very similar attacks, except Magical Symphony is better. Magical Symphony does 20 more damage to the active than Night Spear, and 20 more damage to the bench. And it can be done with one less energy card, because instead of having 2 darks and a colorless, you have a double colorless energy plus any energy type that you choose after that. Also making Mega Audino EX much more versatile with its partners than Darkrai was. Mega Audino EX has 40 more hit points, and it also has the same energy acceleration that Darkrai had. Darkrai had Dark Patch. Mega Audino EX has Max Elixir and Mega Turbo. Max Elixir, of course, can only be attached to the regular Audino EX or any other basic that you have in play, but using that to power up before you evolve into Mega Audino is really powerful, as I found out, because I run 3 Max Elixir in the deck. But anyway, let's get into the deck list now. We're going to start by looking at the Pokemon. We've got 4 Audino EX and 4 Mega Audino EX. Audino EX is good just by itself because Do the Wave does 60 plus 10 for every bench Pokemon that you have in play, so it can do up to 110 damage. I don't play any Fighting Fury Belt in this deck, or else you would be able to do 120 damage, or Skyfield, which would allow you to do even more damage. Now, I mentioned that I ran Max Elixir in the deck, and I really like that with Audino EX. You can get a turn 1 Do the Wave off for anywhere from hopefully 70 to 110 damage, which is really powerful, and I was able to do that a couple of times at the league challenge that I went to, just because Max Elixir is so good with Audino EX. Now, like I said, I run 3 Mega Audino EX. I don't feel like 4 is necessary. You might be surprised to see that I only run 1 Shaman EX. I love Shaman at the early game to replenish the hand, but late game I like the consistency of Octillery. So I run a 1-1 Octillery. That really helped me stay consistent throughout the tournament. So that's my draw support, is 1 Shaman and a 1-1 Octillery. I also run 1 Hoopa EX in order to get the Shaman and 2 more Audinos, or 1 Audino, 1 Mega Audino, and a Shaman. You guys understand how to use Hoopa effectively already. 1 Absol to spread some damage around. Mega Audino EX obviously does 110 to the active and 50 to the bench. So moving bench damage from one bench Pokemon to another, or from the active to the bench, or the bench to the active, can be very important. Now, I was able to take a couple of crucial prizes at the tournament with Absol. I think the biggest play was moving 30 damage off of a benched regular Yveltal to a Zoroark break to make Zoroark's remaining HP, instead of 140, bring it down to 110. That way, when it was going to become active later in the game, I would be able to knock it out. The turn became active with Mega Audino. Finally, I play 1 Stardust Jirachi. I know it's not as powerful as it was because of the release of Special Charge and Pokemon Ranger. However, I still feel like stalling for a turn against something like Vespiquen or Giratina can be very effective, and I did use it a couple of times throughout the tournament to stall for a turn while I was getting everything set up and ready to go, or planning for the future, or just trying to disrupt my opponent, playing an end to shuffle them down to 2 or 3 cards, plus Stardust to prevent Jirachi from being able to be attacked and discarding a special energy. It's still a pretty powerful card, even with the release of Ranger and Special Charge. Look at the trainer and supporter line. Let's talk about the supporters first. I've got 4 Sycamore, 4 N. Some of this doesn't need any explaining. I have 1 Professor Birch's Observation. I always like to personally run 9 Shuffle Draw supporters. It just makes me feel safe. It's really just a preference thing. You don't have to run the 9th one. I run 1 Giovanni Scheme. It does give you a little bit, but the main point of the Giovanni Scheme is for the 20 damage boost. I run 1 Hex Maniac, which can be really powerful turn 1. If you run into a turn 1, let's say you're going first, and you have like an Ultra Ball and you Hoopa for Shaman and start to get really set up, and you get your energy attachment. If you also run across your Hex Maniac, preventing your opponent from playing their Shaman and Hoopa turn 1 is really powerful. I did that once in the tournament, and it was a really powerful way to start the game. I run 1 Pokemon Ranger. Really, it's in there only for the threat of Regice and the threat of Giratina EX. I didn't use it at all throughout the tournament, and actually this deck list is 1 card different from the deck that I used at the tournament. I ran 2 Pokemon Ranger and 9 energy, but because it's so important to hit your energy with Max Elixir, I increased the energy count by 1 and lowered the Pokemon Ranger count by 1 to make up for that, simply because I didn't see any Giratina the entire tournament. I run 4 Audino Spirit Link. That could go down to 3 if you wanted to make room for one more card. Personally, I like 4 just so I can optimize my chances of having the turn 2 Mega Audino. I run 2 Lysander. I don't think that needs much explanation. I run 1 Float Stone and 1 Switch. I do like being able to have my choice between the two because I might need to switch a Mega Audino that's active for some reason and I don't want to lose the energy, but it's got the Spirit Link on it and I can't attach a Float Stone, so I do like having the Switch in there. I run 4 Trainer Mail, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker, those are self-explanatory, 3 Max Elixir, which I've already talked about. Max Elixir was so huge. I mean, the deck kind of thins itself already. You can Ultra Ball, discard 2, grab a Hoopa, pull 3 EXs out of the deck, play down your Shaman EX to draw 3 or 4 cards, and you've really thinned your deck out at that point, and then you start using your Max Elixir, and odds are you're probably going to hit. I actually hit Max Elixir 6 times at the tournament. It was a really important card. That's why I said I increased the energy up to 10, just to make sure that I have even more odds of hitting the Max Elixir. Special Charge, I played 1. Shuffling in your double colorless energies is huge, especially with threats like Scizor and Enhanced Hammer. And then Super Rod, I play 1 as well. Now let's take a look at the energy. We run 4 double colorless energy and 6 psychic energies. We actually run the psychic energies so we can attack, you probably guessed it, with Hoopa EX. As silly as that sounds, being able to snipe for 100 damage and move damage counters that are already on the field with Absol is huge, and it can result in some pretty big knockouts. I mean, let's say you do 110 to the active and 50 to something on the bench, and then you got your Hoopa powered up. You can move 30 damage from the active to the one on the bench that has 50 on it already to put 80 damage on it, attack, and then get 180 HP knockout. Also, Hoopa EX, if you can attach a Psychic Energy to it, and then next turn attach another energy and Max Elixir into a Psychic Energy, you can get a one-hit knockout on the regular Mewtwo EX, not the Mega, obviously. But if you have damage on the field already, you can move it to the Mega and with Absol, and then get technically a one-hit knockout with Hoopa EX. So that's why I run the Psychics. I like having the option to attack with Hoopa EX, as crazy as it sounds. I didn't at the tournament, I didn't need to, but I do like having that option. So I'm going to pull up the deck list again here for you so you can take a look at it again. At the bottom, of course, it's going to be a little cut off just due to the screen, but it's 4 double colorless and 6 psychic energies. Just talking about my matchups real quick. Round 1, I played against a Primal Kyogre deck, which I won. Round 2, I played against a Yveltal, Zoroark, Darkrai, Enhanced Hammer, Faded Town deck, which shouldn't have been the best matchup for me because Faded Town hurts Mega Audino. The Enhanced Hammers knocks off my double colorless energy, and then the deck is just good by itself. I barely won that game. I won it on the last turn. I had 2 cards left in my deck. I was taking my knockout for the last prizes, but in between turns, if I hadn't taken the knockout, I would have lost the game due to Faded Town. Round 3, I played against a Mega Mewtwo Garbodor, and I'll explain how that matchup works real quick, because most of the time people are like, how do you do anything versus damage change Mewtwo? And the answer is really you attack first with this deck because it's really fast. So you do 110 to the active and 50 to a bench Shaman. Then they damage change the damage onto you. You do 110 back and 50 to the same Shaman. Then they Mega Evolve and knock you out, but you come up with a fresh Audino. You knock out their Mega Mewtwo, you knock out the bench Shaman, you take 4 prizes, you eliminate their top attacker, you eliminate 3 energies from the field. It's a pretty big play and it swings it to your side pretty easily. Then if they lay another Shaman, you're just a Lysander away from winning the game, or if you're powering up your Hoopa, if they bring up a regular Mewtwo EX, then you're a Hyperspace Fury away from winning the game too. So as crazy as it sounds, I've never lost to the Mega Mewtwo matchup, even if they run Garbodor. Alright, so then in my final round, I played against another Yveltal Zoroark Darkrai deck. I mean, it was a good list, it was a really close game. Yveltal, the Fright Night Yveltal turning off Audino Spirit Link ability or effect is pretty crucial, so I had to actually use a turn where I just let my turn end to Mega Evolve. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you try the deck out for yourself. I think it's really powerful. It's underplayed. No one's talking about it. And I thought this deck was going to be good for a really long time. So let me know what you think. Try it out, and hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.